Economic event. Radio Algeria International, our voice in the world.
This is the English service of Radio Algeria International. It's time for the news.
In today's top stories, Algeria and Italy has spoken in favor of the reinforcement of cooperation and partnership, notably in the energy sector. Entrusted by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, the diplomacy chief Ahmed Attaf is in Cairo to represent Algeria at the Arab League's emergency summit meeting. The Arab leaders are meeting today in Cairo as part of the emergency summit meeting aimed at discussing a plane overturning US President Donald Trump's project to take control of the Gaza Strip. US President Donald Trump is due to address the Republican-controlled Congress later today after new tariffs against neighboring Canada and Mexico and the suspension of military aid to Ukraine. Hello and welcome to Radio Algeria International. I'm Jamal Silmani. The President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, has received here in Algiers the Vice President of the Council of Ministers and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Italian Republic, Mr. Antonio Tajani, as part of his official visit to Algeria. Following the meeting, the Vice President of the Council of Ministers and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Italy, Mr. Antonio Tajani, said relations between Algeria and Italy are very strong, highlighting the will of the two countries to further strengthen them.
Je veux remercier le président Tebboune pour son accueil.
I would like to thank President Tebboune for his warm and friendly welcome. We have had very positive meetings, notably the one that I have had with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ahmed Attaf. Relations between Algeria and Italy are very strong and can go even forward. Our relations cover political, economic and cultural cooperation. We discuss stability in the Mediterranean region and relations between the two countries in the field of fighting terrorism and human trafficking. We want to work together, and we have decided to have stable cooperation between our Secretary Generals and the Secretary General of the Tunisian Foreign Affairs Ministry.
The Italian diplomacy chief announced that his country will organize a 5+5 Mediterranean ministerial meeting due to tackle the different aspects of economic cooperation.
We have decided to hold a governmental meeting in Italy. We will set a date. I have also informed the President and the Foreign Minister that Italy will hold the 5+5 Mediterranean ministerial meeting. Italy, Spain, France, Malta, Portugal and Algeria, Libya, Morocco, Mauritania and Tunisia will set a date and will hold a ministerial meeting.
That was the Vice President of the Council of Ministers and Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of the Italian Republic, Antonio Tajani. Meanwhile, the Minister of State in charge of energy mines and renewable energies, Mr. Mohamed Darqab, has discussed with Mr. Tajani Algeria-Italy cooperation and strategic partnership. Asia Bikar has the details.
During the meeting that coincides with the holding of the Algerian-Italian Business Forum, they discussed the strengthening of cooperation relations and strategic partnership between Algeria and Italy. The two sides discussed bilateral cooperation relations in the economic and energy fields, emphasizing the strategic nature of this partnership based on historical ties and mutual trust. In this regard, Mr. Darqab praised the pivotal role of Italian companies, notably in the sectors of hydrocarbons, the development of energy infrastructure and the strengthening of Algerian production capacities, highlighting the importance of sustaining the dynamic for future projects.
The friendly Italian Republic, with which we have historical ties, is one of Algeria's important partners, both in terms of investment and trade exchange volume. Algeria's doors remain open for Italian investors in all sectors.
For his part, Mr. Antonio Tajani reaffirmed Italy's commitment to strengthening bilateral cooperation in the field of energy, praising Algeria's role as a reliable supplier of energy for Europe, notably in terms of natural gas.
Nous avons discuté sur la façon de coopérer dans tous les...
We discussed ways and means of cooperation in various economic sectors, notably energy, but also infrastructure, construction, and other agro-industrial areas. Italy's know-how will help boosting investment here in Algeria. I am very happy because I came to strengthen our ties, and we have to go forward. We now have the business forum between Italian and Algerian companies to strengthen these ties. As you know, Italy has industrial power at the European level and is the fourth business power in the world. So we will use all our know-how to strengthen our ties with Algeria.
The Italian foreign minister also highlighted his country's desire to broaden cooperation prospects through new investment projects, notably in renewable energy, green hydrogen, and the electrical interconnection between Algeria and Italy. The two parties also discussed the Matai Plan, which aims to strengthen partnership with African countries through major development projects covering energy, infrastructure, agriculture, and health. Mr. Arkabri affirmed Algeria's support for this initiative with a view to achieving regional economic complementarity and strengthening sustainable development opportunities. In this context, the two parties agreed to keep strengthening economic and energy cooperation through new joint projects and to intensify the strategic dialogue between the two countries for a sustainable, balanced, and mutually beneficial partnership.
Algeria and the other 7 OPEC Plus countries have decided to gradually return to their voluntary cuts in oil products starting from the 1st of April. The decision was taken during a ministerial meeting held via video conference bringing together the OPEC Plus 8 member countries. Following the OPEC Plus meeting, the Minister of State in charge of Energy, Mines and Renewable Energy, Mohamed Arkab, stressed that the organization's decision reflects the commitment of the 8 countries to adopt a responsible approach to ensure the stability of the international oil market. It came as part of the OPEC Plus ongoing efforts to ensure a sustainable market balance and preserve the interests of producers and consumers as well. Now, Algeria's Minister of Post and Telecommunications, Sid Ali Zarrouki, stressed Algeria's pioneering role in the field of artificial intelligence in Africa during his participation in the ministerial summit organized in Barcelona, Spain, coinciding with the World Mobile Congress. More with Mariam Barshi.
The minister highlighted the strategic investments and major initiatives taken by the Algerian government to encourage the adoption and promotion of artificial intelligence. Mr. Zarrouki hailed the creation of the National Higher School of Artificial Intelligence as part of the forward-looking vision of the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, 4 years ago, well before artificial intelligence became a central issue on a global scale, as well as the launch of the largest data center in the region, a key infrastructure for processing metadata and developing modern technologies. Meanwhile, the minister held bilateral talks with his counterparts from Somalia, Ahmed Dire, and Mozambique, Americo Muchenga, on the sidelines of the Mobile World Congress 2025, currently taking place in Barcelona. Mr. Zarrouki discussed with his Somali counterparts ways of deepening bilateral cooperation in the field of telecommunications. The Somali minister expressed his country's interest in benefiting from Algeria's expertise, notably in the training of managers and engineers in the fields of fiber optics and renewable energies. The meeting between Mr. Zarrouki and his Mozambican counterpart provided an opportunity to discuss bilateral cooperation in the fields of telecommunications, technology and innovation. On the occasion, the Mozambican minister thanked the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, for Algeria's constant support for Mozambique.
The Vice President of the Council of the Nation and Vice President of the Interparliamentary Union, Mr. Ahmed Kharshi, took part in by-video conference in the meeting of the Interparliamentary Union IPU Executive Committee. The meeting is being held at the invitation of the President of the Interparliamentary Union, Ms. Tulia Axon, as part of the established tradition of coordination and consultation between the members of the Union's administrative body. The aim of the meeting was to discuss organizational matters and the preparations underway for the 150th Assembly of the Interparliamentary Union and related meetings scheduled for April 2025 in the Uzbek capital, Tashkent. Algeria's national telecommunications operator, Algerie Telecom, was honored with the iData Prize for the best practice in domestic broadband development at the Mobile World Congress held in Barcelona in Spain. Mariam Barshi again.
The award shows the company's commitment to a sustainable digital future, combining innovation and respect for the environment. The award was presented by the iDate to the CEO of Algerie Telecom, Adel Bentoumi, in the presence of the Minister of Post and Telecommunications, Sid Hadi Zarrouki, at the Green All Optical Network 2025 Forum. Mr. Bentoumi expressed his gratitude and honor at receiving the award on behalf of Algerie Telecom. He stressed that the award testifies Algerie Telecom's commitment to a sustainable digital future, combining innovation and respect for the environment, and reflects our vision of a digital future where every Algerian has access to quality broadband, considered a fundamental right and an essential lever for the economic and social development of our nation. Mr. Bentoumi also stressed Algerie Telecom's ongoing efforts to connect every home, every business, and every citizen to the infinite opportunities offered by the digital world.
You're still listening to Radio Algeria International. This is the English service. As you followed in our top stories, entrusted by the President of the Republic, Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune, the Minister of State in charge of Foreign Affairs, the National Community Abroad and the African Affairs, Ahmed Attaf, is in Cairo to represent Algeria at the emergency summit meeting of the Arab League. The extraordinary summit, which kicked off today, will be devoted to examining developments related to the Palestinian question amid the serious threats it faces. The meeting is to culminate in the adoption of a reconstruction plan for Gaza and a political declaration on the common Arab position on the latest developments in the Palestinian issue and the political efforts being made to achieve a just, lasting and definitive solution to the Arab-Israeli conflict. It also aimed at paving the way for the creation of an independent and sovereign Palestinian state, set as a sine qua non condition for the restoration of peace and stability in the Middle East. The Arab leaders are meeting today in Cairo as part of an emergency summit meeting aimed at discussing a plan overturning U.S. President Donald Trump's project to take control over the Gaza Strip. The meeting should culminate into the adoption of a plan whose details have not been disclosed yet. The reconstruction of the Palestinian territory devastated by 15 months of relentless Israeli bombardments will also be discussed as part of a global vision that includes the displacement of Gaza's population. The Arab League meeting came a few days after the expiry of the first phase of the ceasefire agreed on last month. The Israeli occupying authorities' decision was denounced by the UN and international organizations as a new obstacle undermining the implementation of the ceasefire agreement. In this respect, the head of UNRWA, Philippe Lazzarini, denounced the Israeli decision that threatens the lives of the Palestinian civilians exhausted by several months of conflict. The Islamic resistance movement Hamas affirmed that the continued closure of Gaza Strip crossings by the occupation against humanitarian aid and goods constitutes a crime of collective punishment against innocent civilians and a blatant violation of international humanitarian law. In a statement to the press, Hamas said it considered the Israeli occupation authorities' decision not to allow in aid to Gaza a war crime and denounced Israel's non-respect for international law and agreements and its ignorance of the consequences resulting from such actions while taking advantage of the US's unlimited political cover and support. The head of the Arab and Islamic Relations Office of Hamas, Oussama Hamdan, stated that the Israeli occupation is reversing progress and undermining the agreement by proposing alternatives that contradict the terms of the agreement.
The occupation, through its behavior, is pushing matters back to square one and overturning the agreement by proposing alternatives such as extending the first phase, introducing an intermediate phase, and other suggestions that do not align with the concluded agreement between the parties. Netanyahu's recent decisions adopted the American proposals of extending the first phase of the agreement based on arrangements that contradict what was agreed upon are seen as a blatant attempt not to comply with the agreement and avoid starting the second phase negotiations.
He affirmed that the only way to recover the occupation's prisoners is to uphold the agreement, promptly enter second phase negotiations and ensure the occupation fulfills its commitments.
We affirm here that the only way to recover the occupation's prisoners is to commit to the agreement and to immediately start negotiations on the second phase to see to it that the occupation fulfills its obligations.
Let's recall that the ceasefire agreement came into force on January 19th, allowing for an exchange of prisoners and for a resumption of the delivery of the humanitarian aid. U.S. President Donald Trump is due to address the Republican-controlled Congress later today after new tariffs against neighboring Canada and Mexico sparked fears of a trade war, and the suspension of military aid to Ukraine shifted Washington's foreign policy towards Russia. Trump is likely to make a case for extending his 2017 tax cuts. In a text to the limits of his executive branch authority, he will also need Congress to pass legislation to prevent an economically damaging debt default, something he has pushed lawmakers to resolve. Meanwhile, European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen has presented a 5-part plan to mobilize some 800 billion euros for Europe's defense and for military support to Ukraine. Von der Leyen has said in a letter to EU member states that the continent was facing the most momentous and dangerous of times. She said the question is no longer whether Europe's security is threatened in a very real way, but the real question is whether Europe is prepared to act as decisively as the situation dictates. The move was welcomed by German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock. On Thursday, European leaders will hold a meeting to discuss von der Leyen's plan. Trump has implemented sweeping 25% tariffs on U.S.'s biggest trading partners, Mexico and Canada, causing markets across the globe to tumble. The value of trade among the three North American countries is more than $1.5 trillion US. Tariffs would apply to imports from Mexico and Canada of almost $918 billion US. The UN has expressed concern for the well-being and safety of at least 130 patients and wounded abducted last week by members of the M23 group from 2 hospitals in Goma, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Spokeswoman for the Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Ravina Shamdasani, has explained that members of the M23 group stormed the CBCA Hospital and the Heal Africa Hospital. For his part, the UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric has evoked the kidnapping of the patients in his daily briefing.
The Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs tell us they remain deeply concerned about increasing violations of international human rights law and international humanitarian law, including incidents impacting health facilities and schools. In Goma, local humanitarian sources report that armed men raided at least 2 hospitals between Saturday and today, abducting dozens of patients, including several in critical condition. As of today, only a small number of patients have been released, and in South Kivu, local authorities report that 4 schools in Fizi territory, and that's about 250 kilometers south of Bukavu, have recently been converted into military camps, disrupting education for more than 2,000 students.
That was UN spokesperson Stéphane Dujarric. A representative of the Algerian delegation to the UN has stressed during a meeting the importance of water for sustainable development as it supports every aspect of human life, including agriculture, energy, sanitation, and ecosystems.
Recognizing its critical importance, Algeria has made water a top national priority. To this end, a bold and comprehensive national strategy has been implemented to address water scarcity and ensure long-term water security. This strategy includes substantial investment in seawater desalination plants, the optimization of water distribution networks, and the development of advanced water management systems. Furthermore, Algeria recognizes the importance of the International Decade Water for Sustainable Development 2018-2028, which seeks to strengthen cooperation and partnerships at all levels to achieve water-related goals and targets. My country remains steadfast in its commitment to achieving Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which aims to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all.
It is worth recalling that the President of the Republic, Abdelmadjid Tebboune, recently inaugurated a number of water desalination plants across the country to meet the growing demands of the population. Radio Algeria International. Next is our weekly program, The Health Magazine.
Hello and welcome to this special edition devoted to the holy fasting month of Ramadan, during which we will try to give you an insight about the benefits that fasting can have on your health. During the holy fasting month of Ramadan, which occurs on the 9th month of the lunar-based Islamic calendar, all Muslims are required to abstain from food and drink from dawn to dusk for 30 days or 29 days. Because Ramadan shifts approximately 11 days earlier each year on the solar-based Gregorian calendar, Muslims experience Ramadan in different seasons throughout the course of their lives. As one of the 5 pillars or duties of Islam, fasting during the month of Ramadan is mandatory for all healthy adult Muslims, children who have not reached puberty, the elderly, those who are physically or mentally incapable of fasting, pregnant women, breastfeeding mothers, and travelers are exempt. Fasting during Ramadan means abstinence from all food or drink, including water and chewing gum, from dawn to sunset. It is recommended that before sunrise, Muslims eat a pre-fast meal known as suhoor. This meal often resembles breakfast, but in some cultures it may include more dinner-like foods. After sundown, Muslims break their fast with iftar, a meal which usually starts with dates and water or milk, followed by dinner. Muslims are permitted to snack at night between those 2 meals, and hydration is encouraged, especially when Ramadan falls during summer. The act of fasting is meant to remind Muslims of the less fortunate and reinforce the need to be thankful. But it also has tremendous benefits on people's health, as the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, said in his hadith, "Fast and you will be healthy." Indeed, aside from the religious obligations upon Muslims during the holy fasting month of Ramadan, fasting has countless health benefits, from improved weight management and healthier blood cell regeneration through to better heart function and vascular well-being. Fasting has become quite the go-to method of keeping young, fit and healthy. If you are unaware of the numerous benefits that fasting can bring, stay with us in this special program and you will find out more. Detoxifying is one of the benefits of fasting. Abstaining from all matter of solids and surviving on liquids for a few days is a great way to cleanse the human body and detoxify, improving the function of organs whilst promoting a cleansed digestive system, improving blood circulation and getting rid of any harmful toxins in the body. Fasting reduces appetite. Do you ever get that feeling of not being able to tell when you're full or eating out of pure boredom? Fasting can help solve those problems. By structuring your day around everything apart from eating, your body eventually gets accustomed to not feeling hungry all the time. During the holy fasting month of Ramadan, many Muslims who are partaking in the obligatory fasts will experience many cravings during the fasting day, only to find that they are not able to consume much upon opening their fast. This is due to the fact that the less you put into your stomach over a length of time, the more the stomach shrinks, leading you to feel full after just a small amount of food. As our bodies are accustomed to how often we eat, a few days of intermittent fasting can drastically increase our appetite in the long run. Upon breaking the fast, the human body cannot consume a large amount comfortably as the stomach shrinks, leading you to feel satisfied after a smaller meal than usual. This process also increases the production of the thyroid hormone in the body, boosting your metabolism in the process. Now, metabolism. One of the more obvious results of fasting is alleviating obesity. Fasting prompts the liver's enzymes to break down cholesterol and fats to convert them into bile acid, which in turn convert to heat, ultimately stimulating faster metabolism. Naturally, fasting also decreases the appetite, which reduces the hunger hormone levels in the body. You may just find your portion size being significantly smaller following a period of fasting. Fasting helps lose weight. The term fasting means to refrain from food or drink, or even both at the same time. When the human body is undergoing the starvation process, the body turns to fat in order to utilize and burn any stored energy first. If done correctly, fasting can do wonders for weight loss, particularly for loss of fatty tissues in the body, leading to better physical structure overall. Incorporating intermittent fasting into a regular resistance training regime will promote greater fat loss with quicker results. Fasting improves the immune system. Partaking in fasting promotes healing in the human body as it applies core focus to its immune system and metabolism, as opposed to focusing on digestion, further enhancing muscle growth in the process. The immune system is largely comprised of white blood cells, and fasting encourages your body to recycle any old white blood cells, which results in healthier, more robust immune system. Your body regenerates stem cells that consist of red and white blood cells, along with your platelets, once your body consumes food again. Fasting lowers blood pressure. A decrease in the body's salt intake and loss of salt through urine lowers the body's blood pressure. Training. HGH, also known as human growth hormone, is organically produced by the human body and is known to build muscle mass, which effectively burns fat. Although it remains active in your bloodstream for merely a few minutes, it can go a long way towards increasing the lean muscle strength, which could be incredibly beneficial for training. Many athletic professionals tend to utilize the fasting method in the lead-up to big games, as it is key for burning fat while stagnating and optimizing muscle growth. Improved cardiovascular function. Fasting can lead to a healthier heart, lowering cholesterol and promoting improved muscle performance, along with enhanced blood vessel growth. What about mental health? Fasting also goes a significantly long way towards balancing the mind and reducing mental stress. Fasting is also known to strengthen the mind, sharpen focus, and provide mental clarity. This is primarily due to a reduction in calorie, sugar, and salt intake. Blood sugar. During the fasting process, glucose levels are stabilized, which can lead to the prevention of type 2 diabetes as a result. Radiant complexion, anti-aging. It is said that fasting could potentially slow down the aging process, keeping you younger and fitter for longer, and it could also potentially increase lifespan. Fasting leads to the production of restored tissues and cells within the human body, degrading unnecessary cells in the process. This enables you to produce collagen, leading to healthier and more radiant skin. And a healthier brain and cognitive function. During the fasting process, blood in the human body is filled with more endorphins, which in turn gives you a feeling of well-being and great mental health. The overall effect of fasting has a similar impact on the brain as physical exercise would. As fasting forms one of the 5 key pillars of Islam, fasting during the holy month of Ramadan is obligatory upon all able Muslims. However, should you wish to incorporate any other types of fasting at any time of the year, it is important to remember to plan your fasting structure well. Be realistic about what you wish to achieve and always ensure that you are in the right mental and physical mindset to be able to reap the full benefits of fasting. Always ensure you get adequate sleep and ensure your stress levels are low. And with this, we come to the end of this special edition of your weekly program, The Health Magazine, devoted this time to the benefits of fasting for people's health. Do join us next week for another edition which links your health to fasting.